Forward Progress, a Chicago Bears podcast with Dan Bernstein and Matt Abaticola on 312 Sports.
Let's give you some forward progress here. It's a Chicago Bears podcast on 312 Sports. I'm Bernstein. That's Abaticola.
Hello.
And Ben Johnson had a lot to say after his Bears went to 6-3, and they're currently on top of the NFC North with a caveat, knowing they've already dropped a couple of divisional games. So enjoy that squint at the standings while you can after a very strange Packers and Eagles game last night. And obviously, as Bears fans, you're watching it closely because those teams are upcoming on the schedule. They're the Eagles once and the Packers twice, and keeping some tabs on what's going on there, very important, and not the most impressive display of football from either. So we'll get to that. But let's start with things that Ben Johnson had to say and what we think about what he had to say.
All right, our first Ben Johnson cut, he was asked about the upcoming schedule and how the way his team has played, can they sustain that with the schedule getting tougher?
How do you kind of balance the idea of appreciating and enjoying your team's ability to be resilient and pull out some of these games late with the thought that, you know, some of these contending teams with these games coming up may require a more complete four-quarter performance?
I think it's the best thing about us winning right now is we can come back and we can coach them hard, you know, and we'll tell them the truth, and they know it. I mean, they're professionals. They all know that we're winning, but yet this isn't necessarily the style or the fashion that we want to hang our hat on long term. And so, I think we're in a really good spot with our locker room right now. Our coaching staff is doing a tremendous job. I think I got a lot of confidence on really all three phases and how we're coaching the game right now. And it's games like this that you can come in the next day or on Wednesday and coach them. Be really truthful with what you're seeing and what we need to improve on.
Beautiful.
Yep.
I think that's a gentle way of putting it. I love the way Herb Howard asked the question.
Yeah.
And laid it right out there. And I think that is the sort of Ben's corporate boardroom explanation, which is going to differ wildly. In my hope, it differs wildly from how it sounds in practice.
Yeah, no, for sure. And but he also doesn't strike me as a guy that goes psycho just for the sake of going psycho or being football-y coach. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
I just think that there are ways that football players can expect to be addressed that may not necessarily be workplace appropriate for other businesses.
But like we talked about on DBU, there is a proper balance he has to strike, because you can talk about not performing up to the level that they need to. He talks about not being in rhythm, and he talks about not clicking on all cylinders, but you're also 6-3.
Also, it's not his idealized roster yet.
Correct.
So it may be, the actual truth may be that Ben Johnson could believe that they're overperforming.
Based on the players. Correct.
He might think that, we're maybe a little better than, I mean, I'm not, that he might be unreasonable to expect them to level up in their quality of play, that maybe he actually thinks that they're maximizing what they're doing at the moment.
But no, because he told us that they're going to play better football.
He did.
He said that the best football this group of players can play has not happened yet.
This group.
Right, but this group is going to play better in December than they are right now.
Okay.
He's already told us that. All right, he also was asked about the overall play of his team.
We got to start taking control of these games a little bit more. We got to play cleaner football, which I thought in some aspects we did. We were much better in the penalty department. We were much better red zone offense, red zone defense, but yet we take a step back in terms of catching the football. We take a step back in terms of converting on critical downs, things of that nature. And so we still haven't put that whole collective 60 minutes, 3 phases together yet. Yet we've seen glimpses of it throughout the season so far. And so I'm happy with the fact that we're winning games and we're finding a way to win games, and the guys are believing in what we're doing. And yet we still have so far that we can still go and how much we can still accomplish as a whole team.
Sounds like he's being awfully critical, isn't he? Talking about how they're not doing what they should be doing. They could be playing better. I don't know if Bear fans are going to like their head coach being critical of their team right now.
How dare he?
How can he do that about that? That's not fair. I mean, is he not watching the games? How can he say they can play better, Dan?
Wait till he gets to Caleb. You really want to make people mad.
I don't like that. I don't like him being critical of his team. All right, he was asked about the drops in this game yesterday, or 2 days ago.
You talked last night about the drops, that you didn't see them in practice. And I'm just curious, from a coaching perspective, as you enter this week, how do you handle some of those drops in terms of addressing it, not addressing it, extra practice with the judge machine, whatever it is? Like, what's your kind of strategy after a game like that?
Yeah, my strategy is, like anything, you talk about it and then you move on. You learn from it, you move on. When my experience, and I've coached quarterbacks, I've coached receivers, I've coached tight ends on the offensive side, and you can make things worse by going overboard on some of this stuff, and that's not the intent. All those guys, they want to catch the football when it comes their way, and we acknowledge the fact that, hey, there's a few of those that we could have hauled in. We need to do that. Turn the page. Let's keep it moving. And so we're gonna be just fine.
I get it, where he doesn't kind of want to speak it into existence. Stop dropping the football! Stop talking hockey!
Well, no, it's good. At least
drop the ball anymore!
He told us that the intent of the players is to catch the ball. So that's good. I mean, that's half the battle. They all want to catch the ball.
The alternative would be a real problem.
Yeah. Like, Coach, I really don't want to catch.
Look,
You're wide receiver. Get out there.
I'd love to try, but I'm just not interested.
I also I wonder if he takes this away from Hallis Hall and brings it home, the whole idea of we talk about it, then we move on.
Well, it's good parenting.
Well, I mean,
You don't want to dwell on stuff.
No, I meant like as a husband. Honey, we're not spending enough time together. You know what? You're right. We are not spending enough time together.
All right.
We've talked about it. Now let's move on.
Keep it moving.
Next topic. I don't know. I think we should talk about it more. No, we've talked about it. We moved on.
Honey, should we maybe talk about family planning and if we want to use in vitro fertilization? Or if we don't. Next.
We've talked about it. Now let's move on. I just like it.
That's a football thing. It's, he's a clean desk guy. I like that.
All right. He was asked about his play calling and if he needs to get better as a play caller.
How are you grading yourself in that area? And why do you think it is important to be transparent about that you feel like your play calling could have been better in some situations?
Well, no, it's the first thing you look at when things aren't clicking and you don't feel like you're in a rhythm as an offense. And so I always look in the mirror. What could I, do a little bit better there? I didn't love our third down plan when I go back and I looked at it. I thought they did a really nice job defending us, and we didn't do enough to counter that, and that's on me. I got to do a better job of that. I know why I did everything in the moment, why I call things. Everything has a reason, and yet when it doesn't click the way we want it to, then I just question whether I should have done something or done something else. And so, end of the day, we're all in it together. I want those guys to understand that I take a lot of ownership in what we put on tape, as do they. And so, it's really important that they understand we're all in the same boat.
Broat.
Yeah, the Broat. So that was something that we discussed on the post game. Is you wanted to see him as a head coach come out and say, "Hey, I need to do better as a play caller," because we thought there was some missed opportunities in some of his play calls, the way he used the run, and it was interesting to hear him talk about yesterday how he felt like they weren't efficient running the ball, yet they averaged 5.5 yards a carry.
Maybe they just didn't run it enough.
Well, then that's on someone who calls the plays.
Especially against that defense. Yeah, that was one of my criticisms. One of the things I wrote down. When I thought they were going to lose, and I was writing my headlines of why the Bears lost, bad defense, too many drops, not enough running plays.
Yeah, because they ran the ball well. I mean, the stats showed that, and that's that the Giants want you to run the ball against them. And I thought their pass defense they played better in that game against the pass than I thought the Giants would be able to play. There was a lot of opportunities where I saw guys covered, coming out of their routes at least.
That some of the drops had to be perfect throws to even have been dropped.
Yeah.
and one that was caught by Colston Loveland
But
critically.
But you got that you know what you wanted. The head coach saying he just didn't do a very good job, and we talked about how he's done that in the past earlier in the season. But it was more, it seemed like, to cover for guys and how they haven't enough time together. They weren't playing as well as he thought they could play, so he was kind of taking some of that on himself. Where when he said this yesterday, he really I think was being genuine and transparent, sincere, that I need to do a better job.
Not to mention, it's hard for a coach sometimes to be as transparent as we desire when it comes to play calling, because he knows so much more about the individual players, where we know that DeAndre Swift was playing through injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe there was a time where I said, God, I loved her on this play, but he's sore right now. He told me he needs a breather, or he told me he's just, or for DJ Moore, who's playing through an injury.
Right.
We don't know, and stuff that he would never give away that always factors in. Of a guy's like, look, he's hurt, he's not coming out, but he doesn't want to run blah 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 and blah.
Or I just can't do this.
Right. Or I'm tired right now. I just ran 3 routes. I didn't get the ball, and he's huffing and puffing. So don't throw it to me right now because I need a rest.
Maybe that's something Matt LaFleur should look into.
We'll get to him.
Can't make the kick, but might as well go out and make him try to make the kick.
We saw you can't make the kick, but you know what? Go try it again. We tried to get you extra yards, and
it just didn't work out.
I'm not going to believe that one. You didn't really try.
Here's Ben Johnson talking about Caleb leaving the pocket, running when it's not a scripted play.
It's something that we certainly want to utilize. It's not something that we want to necessarily feature each and every week, but when the opportunity presents itself, we have the ability to capitalize on it.
So we talked about that a lot throughout the season, that when he does scramble, does he want him to look downfield, get the ball in the hands of the playmakers, look for those explosive plays? Does he want him to run more? Should it be a quicker reaction to get out of the pocket? Because we know he does all those spinoramas. He is trying to make plays and extend plays out to throw the ball. Should he run more? Should he run quicker? Should he run sooner?
If you can get 10 or 15, get it.
If there's enough grass in front of you.
If you're running for 4, it's probably not worth the hit or worth what could happen to you.
Yeah, because even when he slides, he gets hit.
Right.
Yeah.
And they don't care. But if you can get 10 or 15, go get it.
It's something that we certainly want to utilize. It's not something that we want to necessarily feature each and every week, but when the opportunity presents itself, we have the ability to capitalize on it.
All right, then last cut from Ben Johnson. This is a longer cut. This is a lengthier cut, and it's with several questions about Caleb's decision-making throughout the season, this last game as well.
I wanted to ask you about 2 4th-down throws. The first was the one at the end of the first drive there, into the end zone to DJ. And the other was the 4th and 3, I believe it was, on with about 9 minutes left.
Can you take me through the second one again? Who do we throw it to?
4th and 3, you guys are empty. Caleb kind of pirouettes left, winds up throwing it a little high and behind Swift. But it looked like you had Rome chipped and might have had a kind of a delayed crosser going the other way.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Okay. Where's the ball ideally supposed to go in those 2 situations, and kind of how do you and Caleb navigate, his improvisational skills, which are great with you being the play caller, and if there's a play there to throw it.
Yeah, we talked about. We just watched the whole game together. He made a number of really, really good plays that we needed in the moment, and there's a handful of them that we talked about, and in hindsight, you might play them a little bit different. Same thing for me as a play caller. There's a number of calls that I probably want back. In those 2 particular instances, the first one, we felt like we had enough time to hang in the pocket and throw that ball to DJ without breaking contain. And it's a balancing act for him. He feels the pressure, and like I've been saying all along, he's got a natural ability to know when to escape and carry on. And that's not something that we want to take away from his game, but we are encouraging at times when we see it where we can hang in there and either get the throw down the field or check the ball down. So the one to DJ, we felt like there was some space over the top there that we might be able to throw him open into in the end zone. And then the second one is, if I remember it right, we had a number of crossers on that play, and I thought a couple guys popped. It's a play that we hit he threw really well in practice. We felt good about, and it's probably another one that he felt like he felt the pressure, got out of it, but we could probably hang in there and deliver that ball down the field.
How do you think in general he handles the balance of kind of knowing when to hit that eject button and knowing when to hang in there?
It's a work in progress. I think the more comfortable he gets within the offense and the more trust he has in his pass catchers that they're going to be where they're supposed to be, that he'll continue to play within the rhythm and the timing of the concepts. And as we're continuing to grow and develop that trust, there will be times where he takes off and he runs with it. I mean, I thought what he did yesterday in terms of evading that rush, that's a rare quality for most quarterbacks, and I don't know many other in this league that could have done it to the extent that he did yesterday.
There are some really interesting rhetorical things that are happening in that. Before we get to the substance of it, I just want to point out, take note of when Ben Johnson answers a question as we and when he answers it as he. When it is a specific play and he's discussing decisions made within that play, he's using we.
We, yeah.
And he's talking about the quarterback and play caller and coach as an entity.
Yep.
And part of that is to diffuse responsibility. Part of that is to globalize it, to make it, you can't just pin the responsibility on one person. And I'm not saying he's doing so defensively. It's also an embrace. It's also defining how they look at the game. And I think it matters that he uses that. It's not really a royal we. This is how he's seeing it, and I'm seeing it, and we see it together.
I think it also shows.
Thought we could hang in the pocket.
It shows some investment in what he's doing here. That he's not just the head coach. I'm the CEO. My guys are in charge to do their jobs and run their units. I run my unit how I run my unit. No, that's not what he's doing. He's invested in the development of this one individual player as an NFL quarterback.
And it's later in the answer that he says he.
Yeah.
So he changes that. He originally talks about some of the decisions that are made, and once he's back in the headspace, he defaults to saying we. And I like that. I don't have any problem with it. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying, but I do think it is always worth noting when he's saying we and then when he's saying he about specific questions about his quarterback.
There was a couple things that really jumped out at me. One of them was when he mentioned the checkdowns. And I thought in this game against the Giants was the best and the quickest I saw Caleb Williams get to his checkdowns. Whether it's a back coming out of the backfield or it's a receiver running a less than a 10-yard route and turning, planting, waiting for the ball. I thought
or sometimes it's the middle of the field stick route.
Yeah,
where I thought right in front of the center.
I thought he did the best job of these 9 games in getting that ball out the quickest to that check down, because that's not a primary route at all, and that's a third or a fourth progression. And I thought he got to it the fastest of any game. I thought it was outstanding. There was a couple. Monungai had his one drop. That was his one target coming out of the backfield. That's on Monungai.
He had room to go, too.
And then there was one bad throw to Swift that Swift got trapped behind the guard or the tackle on the defensive end and was delayed, and it made a tougher throw to get to him. So that's not on Caleb. Outside of that, I thought he had his best game reading checkdowns, getting to them the fastest he has so far in 9 games. Another thing that Ben Johnson said that jumped out to me was talking about the players and Caleb developing trust. One of the areas he mentioned about that trust was the players being in the areas they're supposed to be. It's still a struggle. I want to know who, why, and when it's happening. That why is the quarterback at 9 games in with veteran receivers? I know Odunze's a 2-year guy, but he's your best receiver. DJ Moore, Zacchaeus, who's been in the league for years. Why are they not getting to the spots they need to be at? Why can the quarterback not trust at this time that they're going to be where they need to be?
Especially as you start seeing more zone defenses.
Yeah.
When it is going to be in your control, when there isn't somebody lined up right over you, that you are going to have an opportunity to get to certain areas where you're supposed to get. And he said areas, not spots.
Yeah, he said areas.
Well, if you're not even in the area, that's worse than being in the wrong spot or just being off because of a split.
Yeah, and I wonder, when I heard that too, and I took it as just using a different word for spot, because I don't think, because if you're not in the area, that's a significant issue.
Right. I also like to know how much of that is after he leaves the pocket.
Right.
Is that scramble rules? Is that what we've been talking about? Is because in that game, so many times when he left the pocket, everything was outward. Everything he's trying to dot has been my receiver or nobody, all racing toward the sideline. That would all have to be spectacular catches. And what we've seen with some of the great improvisers are those across the body wrong way throws that he has hit before that are more okay when you have a level of trust in the arm talent and the vision, where be in the spots in the soft middle. That's where the yards are.
Right.
I don't know the answer, but it's worth watching and asking more about.
Yeah. Any other areas of substance in that longer cut? Because it was a longer cut that we.
No, I was really focused on the pronouns.
Yeah.
Really focused on when he says what we want to do, what we see, where we want to be on that is much more about the planning. Because I think once Caleb gets out of there, then it becomes more his play.
Yeah.
That's much more on what the communication he's got with his receivers, the reps he's had, what he knows they want him to do. Because there were a lot of plays where we saw the cutaway afterward of him having conversations with guys. Speed that up. Whatever that evolution is, like, get used to it. I want you to be here. If it's a read route, if I'm over here, you get over here. If we know they were lined up in a two-man and I'm waving you, go.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch again, because there was one play that was a scramble. It was a breakdown play, so we get into that secondary playbook like they've talked about. And I can't remember which receiver it is, but they're breaking downfield. And it seemed contrarian to everything that we've been seeing so far, where it's like come back or go side and not go down deep. So I wonder if there was something they saw differently in this Giants game, or maybe that individual player that was on that Bears wide receiver that, hey, if something breaks down, you can take this guy deep because he doesn't follow or doesn't react the same way.
Or the more advanced level to that is simply zone or man and force a defender into conflict, saying that if there are two guys in his area, he can't cover both of them. And you got to force a decision. You both can't go this way. You both can't. One of you go this way, one of you go that way.
Right.
One of you is going to be open.
Right.
Because there's only one defender there.
Right. We just can't be in the same
area. Same area.
Spot.
Maybe
right.
that's exactly it.
All right, looking at we have no injury report, no official injury report, but what do we have as far as guys coming out of that game that we heard from Ben Johnson on?
All we know is the people
Sunday
who left the game and came back, and from my notes, it happens to DJ Moore every week. Where he
and again, I
comes
think
out,
that's going to be a thing.
Shoulder,
Yeah,
because
he saw. Did you see him with the J band? He was stretching his hand out.
Yes. It might have been a stinger because they were looking at his shoulder.
Okay.
And then maybe sometimes you get that radiating pain down the arm, and he was trying to stretch. He had that green.
Yeah, that's a good call. 'Cause I don't know if he was
band.
doing something with the hand or wrist, but yeah, shoulder. That's a good. That's a good call
sometimes
too.
you just get a little nerve thing, and you got to sort of reignite everything, or what do they call it? Get everything firing again. So he came out, and at one point, CJGJ came out and went back in. He seemed fine after the game, but the other names that we're looking at are the ones that we expect to return. TJ Edwards, they said, despite the surgery on his hand, that they'd be able to tape that thing up and get him out there. It's the hamstring that was probably the limiting injury because he was listed with both. And then we're just keeping an eye on Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson and seeing how they come along when they're going to be moving toward their reactivation.
Did you, and I'm sorry to throw this at you without asking in advance, but the snap counts.
We can grab them.
Yeah, grab it real quick. So I want to look, and if you can, off the top of your head, just remembering these games now, Grady Jarrett and his snap counts when he plays, because
it's hard to find things to remember from Grady Jarrett this year, boy.
I guess my question would be, is he? My question is he out there too much? But then maybe the snap counts are low enough where it is
All right, snap counts
A fair
from
number.
the game. What do you want? Grady Jarrett from last week?
Yeah, where's he at?
Grady Jarrett was at 63%. He had 46 of the 73 defensive snaps. The guys this is Kevin Fishbane's Twitter. He always puts this up there. Stevenson, Sewell, Brisker, and Byard at 100%. Gardner Johnson and Nishan Wright at 99%. Edmonds 93%. Austin Booker 84%. Sweat 71, Jarrett 63, Dexter 58, Billings 55, Ford, Tryon Shoyinka, and Williams at 22, Elijah Hicks at 11, Daniel Hardy, and DeMarco Jackson at 1%.
What was the number of snaps for Shoyinka? Not the percentage. You have the
Tryon 16.
16, okay.
16 snaps for Ford, Tryon Shoyinka, and Williams.
So is 63% for Jared, is that too much?
I don't know.
I mean, given his productivity
answer,
and his knee that he's dealing with, should it be a little less? Are there a couple guys there?
He's not being listed anymore with a knee.
No, he's not. But I can't
designation.
imagine that it's not like it's healthy.
Or he's just old.
Yeah. So is it too much? Maybe a few less.
I don't know. Do you want the offensive snap counts just while we're doing this?
Yeah.
There were 68 offensive snaps, 100% for the entire offensive line and Caleb Williams. Then Odunze, 78%, Komet, 66%, Loveland, Moore, and Swift, 62%, Zacchaeus, 57%, Burden, 49%, Monungai, 38%, Durham Smythe, 16%, Ozzie Trapillo, 10%.
So how many snaps for Zacchaeus?
39.
And then how many for Burden?
33.
Okay.
And if they feel Burden can play that specific position, then my hope is that we see some shifting around in some of those numbers.
Now, with the Kevin Fishbane question about the drops, like what do you do to address it? And he just said, hey, we talk about it, then we move on, and he's not gonna go overboard with the drops. I'm sure in his brain it's already forgotten, over with. Like, they want to catch it, they didn't catch it. We're not going to make a big deal out of it.
It's also an anomaly.
From that answer, though,
it's not like going into this game they had a drop.
It's been
problem.
a thing, right? It's one game. So I wonder two things: was it the conditions of the game? Was it the game itself that made this? Because it was multiple guys. It wasn't just Zacchaeus.
What can those conditions be? The wind?
I don't know. I don't
ball?
know. It was the coldest game they've played. I don't know. I don't know.
Too much velocity.
But
what else would cause a drop?
What I heard in his answer was that nothing's changing anytime soon.
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, what does it really do if he just starts screaming about dropping the like
right.
all of a sudden, oh yeah, thanks, coach. We're not supposed to drop the ball.
Yeah, but I also don't see Burden taking over that spot for Zacchaeus anytime soon. I really don't.
It's all a matter of trust. But if guys already are not in their correct areas, I just know every time Burden touches the ball, he looks like he moves fast.
Because he does.
I'm a simpleton that way
and
sometimes.
strong too.
Fast.
He runs a lot harder. He's stronger than I anticipated.
And the bigger question for me is the return game. At what point can Devin Duvernay not move his legs quickly enough?
And he just runs upright and into guys.
Slow.
Yeah, he does.
I see other returners all the time.
So, but again, we also don't want Burden doing that
if he's mattering more in the offense.
Right.
No great answer right now, but you thought that was something that they dealt with. They held the roster spot for him. They played those administrative roster games.
Yeah, where he was off and on.
Boy, they got to keep Duvernay. That's the former Pro Bowl return man. But when you're not doing anything else and you've got that roster spot and you're not even good at the one thing you do, it could be a problem. I want to go back and address something from yesterday, by the way. My apologies. It was my bad on interpreting that chart that I was reading from The Athletic. We were looking.
Was that about the playoff percentages?
Yeah, it's
okay.
Super Bowl percentage. That's what it was.
Oh, okay.
The reason why they were low was it was win the Super Bowl percentage, and it is why we were looking at who dropped and who rose from the preseason projections. So that's why. It wasn't just a make the playoffs percentage.
Yeah, because I was looking at it last night on NFL.com and their stats and the playoff picture. And,
it's different, yes.
Yeah, and the Bears right now at number 6 in the playoffs have like a 40% chance of making the playoffs. And I was like, All right, then what were we looking at yesterday? So that was Super Bowl. Okay.
Yeah, that was so I'll take the L.
Well, God damn it, Bernstein.
And
Seriously, get stuff right.
I will redouble my efforts, and it was it's a one-off, so we're going to move on. All right, you're right. We talk about it. We talk about it. We keep it moving.
You made a mistake. It's
on me.
Discussed. That's over and done with now.
There we go.
All right, we're done talking about it.
All right.
Well, let's talk about how bad the Packers are.
They're bad. Defense good. Although, did Micah Parsons he should have been called for tripping, right?
Yes, 100%.
You can't do that.
It was missed or just ignored. One of the two.
You can't swing your legs out like that to trip a guy.
Yeah, he got Barkley.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just making sure.
No, they missed it, obviously, because I mean, why would any sets of official eyes be on the ball carrier with the ball? Why would you be watching
the ref was Steve Lubington?
Ludman? Leudman? Ludman?
Something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just a missed call.
Okay.
And that happens sometimes, Dan, and sometimes,
I know.
Quarterbacks get kneed in the back of the head while they slide to give themselves
After you're
up.
told that you're not allowed to do that in any way, shape, or form.
Sometimes it gets missed.
But there are already questions being asked about their handsome young coach and their general manager, Brian Gutekunst. So Matt LaFleur is facing some difficult questions about why that offense cannot produce. Meanwhile, did you know that there's a whole cottage industry in Matt LaFleur, romantic fan fiction?
Yeah, there are a lot of women in Wisconsin that love Matt LaFleur.
Yeah, I didn't really know about this stuff. So I showed his picture to my wife. I'm like, is there anything is he remarkably handsome? She goes, no, he's a decent looking guy.
Yeah, he's a handsome guy. He's fine.
Yeah, that's what she said. He looks like a guy, he's fine.
I mean, he's no Andy Reid, but he's he's handsome.
Now that would be funny if there were similarly romantic fan fiction, bodice rippers being written about Andy Reid.
I bet there are.
Cover with he's got hair flowing like Fabio.
Yeah. He's holding a big sandwich.
Right, except he's romancing a cheeseburger. Instead of a fair maiden with her heaving bosom, it's a giant cheeseburger that he's looking at.
Could be a movie title.
On a windswept hill.
Romancing the cheeseburger.
Yeah, he would.
The Packers are 10th in passing yards in the NFL. They are 6th in yards per attempt. Yards per attempt at 7.9.
Okay.
25 passing touchdowns, 2 interceptions. No, wait. 13 and 3. I just don't know why. Obviously, their offensive line.
They were struggling on the interior to block, and they've had some injuries there, too.
They've had 14 sacks of their quarterbacks, but still in the top 10 in passing. But they don't look like they're really clicking at all on the same page, if I can use all of Ben Johnson's terms.
And there were too many passes that I'm seeing from Love that
were just bad.
That when
really
bad.
Yeah,
when he has open guys, he's throwing it to the wrong side. There was one really weird one where Josh Jacobs, who he runs super hard, and he has to because he's getting contact that appears as soon as he touches the ball. But boy, when he keeps his legs going, there was one really weird play where he turned the wrong way completely last night, and it looked just like he had yardage in the flat, and he almost turned back to it. It reminded me of a basketball screener turning the wrong way on a roll. It was very, very strange. I want to remind people too, and especially if they're looking at Maddie's brand new sweatshirt there, that we are brought to you by Beer Church Brewing, New Buffalo's brewery-pizzeria in a historic church. It's wood-fired Neapolitan pizza. It's small batch craft beer. It's brunch every day. Visit beerchurchbrewing.com. I got to get one of those. If they've got the fishing shirts, like the long sleeve dry fit.
Yeah, so it was highlighter yellow, and it had blue right on the top here. It said Beer Church, and it was the lightweight, SPF
Yeah,
hoodie,
shirt.
the things I wear every day.
Yes.
And it was a Beer Church fishing shirt.
Large.
They just didn't have
my
size.
That's what, John.
Because I saw those in the corner, and I'm like, all right, well, that's what I'm getting.
And I'm a walking billboard because starting in like March.
Yeah, because you actually fish. I just wear fishing shirts without fishing.
And I fish where all the people are. Like everybody. They probably know me as the weirdo fishing guy.
I loved one of the comments yesterday because I had my orange, yellow, and white. It looked like it's all multicolor, and my White Sox hat.
Brilliant.
And the comment was, I looked like I was in a parole hearing, like a video online parole hearing in my orange jumpsuit. But what you couldn't see was the middle's yellow, the bottom is white. And even Natalie was like, you look very summery today on a day with 6 inches of snow in the yard.
You did have kind of a creamsicle thing going on.
Yeah. But with my all White Sox hat.
Rehabilitated.
Yeah. I don't know what that because when we were done recording, I had to go to my hearing, my parole hearing.
Sonny, you just go ahead and stamp your forms.
That's pretty good. All right.
Talk some sense into him.
Dan, do you know the NFL team currently that has never had a 4,000-yard passer?
Oh, I do. I know it.
Who is it?
Quite well. That's your Chicago Bears.
All right. So you know that Caleb, with his season last year of 35-41,
was just underneath Eric Kramer's of 1995.
See, actually, he was fifth all time. Caleb Williams at 35-41.
Okay.
So it goes Eric Kramer in 95, Jay Cutler in 14, Jay Cutler in 09, Jay Cutler in 15, Caleb Williams in 2024 at 3,541 yards.
Okay.
So just looking at his season right now, so he currently has 2,136 yards through 9 games. Do you know, Dan, would you guess where that ranks on all-time Bears single-season leaders?
Through 9 games.
So he's at 21-36.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, this is
fourth.
Oh, no. For like all-time. So in the all-time single-season passing leaders, that's 34th. So the thing about all the seasons the Bears have had, all the quarterbacks.
Wait a second. No, I thought you meant the number through 9 games.
No.
As where it ranked through 9 games.
Just looking at his total now.
The through 9 games, that total is 34th in season all time.
Yes. In Bears history.
Unbelievable.
Halfway through a season, he's 34th all time on the list. Okay. So looking at to see what is it that he needs to get to 4,000 yards. He has 1,864 yards away.
Okay.
Is what he needs, okay?
In 7 games.
He's averaging 8 games.
Oh, God darn it.
Yeah, I know. So, yeah, he gets an extra game out of it, too. So he's averaging 237.
Times 3, 24. I got 233 yards per game.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah. So then he gets to, so he's at 1864. He does that. That'll get him to 1896. That would get him over if he keeps that average up. Okay. Be the first time they ever have a 4,000-yard passer. So just looking at the 4 that were ahead of him, Eric Kramer, and then 3 seasons from Jay Cutler. Eric Kramer in 1995, after 9 games, had 2,260. Eric Kramer in order had 2,365, 2,353, 2,310. So he's a few hundred yards off pace of Jay Cutler, who never finished at 4,000. He is currently about 130 off of Eric Kramer's pace after 9 games.
All right, well, let's get to it.
He needs to keep that pace going.
Let's get moving.
So how does that count though with an extra game?
That's up to you, I guess. It's
as
up to
an individual
everyone.
fan.
It's not like baseball where everybody gets all crazy about what individual stats mean or season stats mean. No one really seems to care, as the passing stats have been so inflated anyway. What I would love to see, honestly, are plus stats. I'd love to see, however, the linear weights, and much like what we see with weighted runs created plus, OPS plus, where you can get a simple number that factors everything in as far as the era, as far as the yard environment, the scoring environment, the passing environment. If and football can't, but if football could come up with a way to do a plus stat where any point over 100, any point under 100 is above or below the average of that environment of production. But so I don't know. They're all counting stats. So who knows?
We'll get it figured out.
Well, it's not my job. I'm not good at that stuff.
But you're good at numbers, though.
No, I'm not. I'm good at words. I'm not good at numbers. I'm good at letters. I'm good at words. I'm not. I can understand what numbers are trying to do when they're explained to me, but actual calculation of stuff, I couldn't tell you what linear weighting actually means. I couldn't diagram something like that and show you what any of it means, so I can't help you in that regard.
So in looking at the Caleb Williams, his quest for 4,000 yards in a season, it brought me at looking at other teams in the NFL. This was really surprising to me. That the Philadelphia Eagles have only had one season with their quarterback going over 4,000 yards. Ever. Which I was really surprised by.
Was it the Polish rifle?
Who's that?
Ron Jaworski?
It was not. So Donovan McNabb is number 2 and number 3 on the list all time. 3,916, 3,875.
Huh.
Jalen Hurts is 4th. Randall Cunningham 5th. Carson Wentz 6th. Sam Bradford.
Was it
Sonny Jurgensen, Jalen Hurts, Donovan McNabb? That's your top 10. The number 1,
Nick Foles?
The only time that a Eagles quarterback's gone over 4,000 yards.
You sure?
4,039.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz.
Huh.
I was really, really surprised with Hurts and with Cunningham and McNabb that they never went over 4,000 yards.
All right, so the Bears aren't the only miserable passing franchise out there.
Correct.
Okay.
It's also the Philadelphia Eagles and their leader all time, Carson Wentz.
Amazing. It doesn't make me feel that much better because they're a recent Super Bowl winner.
No, it shouldn't make you feel any better. And then we get to see them soon, don't we?
Indeed. And that's why we were watching that awful Monday night game. And don't go back and watch that stupid ending. Just that the whole last couple of minutes of that game was just some of the dumbest football you're ever going to see.
Yeah, just listen to DBU and you can get a full play-by-play from Dan on it.
I went through it. As my friend texted me yesterday, he said for that performance, everybody should lose a finger.
That was the best line.
I said that both teams should get into a tiny little car and drive out of the stadium as fast as possible and then off a bridge. And his response was everyone involved should lose a finger.
Yes. I think that's good.
That is Forward Progress on this Tuesday, brought to you by Beer Church.
10, 219, 219.
Forward Progress. A Chicago Bears podcast with Dan Bernstein and Matt Abaticola on 312 Sports.